somewhere, and she taught us in about an hour how to judge gymnastics. So now, all of a sudden, I mean, there's like, in his program, he probably had about 20 families involved in this shit, right? So all of a sudden, now I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. Now I'm a judge and judging people's families, kids that I'm not really, I am not qualified to be a gymnastics judge.
You were good though.
I researched it, right?
But I thought
And
you had
I
to go
found out
and
that
learn and
to
do all
get
that fun stuff.
a beginner, there's a 3 or a 4. To get 3 points, you had to get to another level. So I researched a little bit of that stuff. But make the long story short, all I ever got was crap from the parents. Why is Kara? Yeah. And then I said, well, I'm not going to judge Kara anymore. Somebody else is going to judge Kara because she's my child, right? Yeah. And so.
Why did you judge her better than me?
There were a lot of people judging Kara. Don't worry about
that. In this shit,
all the time.
And tell me what her opinion was, and then I would say to myself, why in my career do I want to get involved with crap like this? And I did this for like 3 or 4 years, and then Kara finally moved on to the Andy Valley crowd. And my gymnastic judging career came to an end.
And my Uber career started.
Oh, wait a minute, whoa. Come on.
Okay.
You're still there.
What?
So, go ahead.
Oh, no.
You asked the question. That you had something you wanted to ask.
Well, I just thought maybe it would be good. We could either discuss running in Maine in the 60s or...
Oh my God, no, Dad, you didn't even start running until when?
1970, the early 70s. I was getting fat all through the 60s, and then early 70s I said to myself, I'm 200 pounds, 205 pounds, and
real tusker.
Now I have to start losing some weight, and that's when I got into running.
So that's what it was? It was your weight? Was it any connection with anybody else that got you into that?
Well, Gaten was involved now. I decided, I'm 205 pounds. I'm gaining 2 or 3 pounds every year. And I said, if I do the math, in about 10 years, I'm going to weigh about 235 or 40. And that's when I decided that it's time to try something. That's when I got into running.
So Gaten moved in close to you in Topsom, right? Yeah. So had that already happened when you made that? Were you living in Topsom?
We'd been connected. He was about 240 pounds.
Yeah.
I was only about 205. So that's when we decided to.
Was it a combination of both of you guys feeling like you needed to lose weight? So you said you're going to run, or was there something else? Was it nothing else?
I think we had that discussion. I don't remember the details of the discussion, but both of us were agreed that we both needed to lose weight. So we started biking. That didn't work because of winter in Maine. You can't ride a bike in Maine in winter. So then we got into jogging.
So you start getting into jogging, and then you start having some success. I mean, you became very good.
Well, but we ran for like a whole summer. The first summer we ran, we didn't do anything because it became fall, and we quit running for the winter. So.
Did you gain the weight back?
And then we all gained all the weight back, right? Both of us. Yeah. So then we did the spring come, and then we took up running again. And then we decided that we were going to run the what the hell was it?
Paul Bunyan?
The Paul Bunyan. So we're going to go run the Paul Bunyan. So we run for like 2 or 3 months, and then we run the Paul Bunyan. So that was my first marathon.
What month was that? Was that in the winter or the spring?
That was like
October.
Middle of July or something like that.
July.
Yeah.
That's like the only July marathon.
What'd you run?
Bangor.
I ran 3:43 with a hangover. On the way up, we decided to drive from Brunswick to Bangor, we bought our first six-pack. We made it about a half hour, and we bought the second one. And we bought the third one.
Before the race.
None of us is how serious we were taking a marathon. So I ran 3:43, and he ran like 4:12.
Oh, wow.
That was my first one.
How many years later did it take you to run the 2:30?
Well, then we were now into running.
Two,
Right,
yeah.
2:30.
So my next one was 3:20. So I went from 3:43 to 3:20, and then I went to like
Didn't you break 3? Like at
3:06. I had like 4 3:06s, and then I had about. Then I went to 2:56, and then I had like 4 2:56s. Then I went to 2:48.
4 of them.
Then I went to 2:42, and then 2:36, 37, and then I had my 2:32.
It's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. 2:32. That was it.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
but it was never going to get any better than that. I mean, I
Doesn't
was
get a whole lot
training
better.
as hard at that time in my life as you can train. I was doing pickups, intervals, repeat miles, and then I said to myself, there's no way I'm going to go running faster. I mean, I don't have the genes to run 2:20.
Yeah, but you get into it, and your explanation is you wanted to lose some weight, and then you get into it. I'm assuming that your weight went down.
Oh yes,
And then-
I run.
Yeah.
Well, I went down to 146 pounds. I went from 205 to 146.
He looked pathetic.
You weighed 146.
146.
146.
So what? Okay, so you
Gabe
got
went,
past
wait a
the.
minute now. Gabe went
Yeah.
from 240 down to 120.
Jesus.
Down to 120 pounds
50% of his weight.
from 240.
I weighed more than you
Wow.
I
at
mean,
points in my life.
since he's
Yeah.
a shrink and has an unbelievable person, people would see him and they say, "My God, what happened to you?" And he'd tell them he's dying. I'm critically. He was serious. I'm sure I'm critically ill. I'm not going to live for another 6 months. And of course, with his personality, get away with shit like that,
That's hilarious. But so but there's a piece there that just says, hey, look, you're no longer running just to lose weight. It's you're running because you want to get better.
I was fixated on it.
Yeah.
That's
We all
it was like this is my new thing in life, and I really took it too serious personally. I think when you think back about it, because I was never going to be a world class runner.
Hmm?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to be. I mean, you take Brandon can run 4-minute mile, right? I mean, my best mile was 4:38.
But you don't think that being fifth in the world for the most distance run in 24 hours was ever kind of a world class?
Oh, no. Well, I ended up being in the 24. But when I ran my 136 miles, I ended up being rated like 5th or 6th in the world.
So that's like kind of world class status.
Yeah, that was in. But then again, what was his name? Jan Kors, the Greek, hit the marathon. He went from like, at that time the record was like 146 miles, and then he took it up to like 196.
Really?
So and
In
then
24 hours?
in 24 hours.
Well, added
Wow.
50 miles, just
Huh?
like added 50 more miles. Just
They added 50 more miles to the record. So and I ran with him again. I went down to New York and ran again. Didn't go down and run against him, but he was in the race, and we were. I was the only one that I think that he was concerned about. Of course, and I know him now. We become, I won't say friends, but knowledgeable of each other. And I ran for I tried chasing him for like 12 hours. And then at 12 hours, I was practically
Imagine.
10 miles
An hour.
behind him close. And then I said, well, I'm never going to happen. I'm never going to catch this guy, So he ran
Oh my
like
God.
172 miles. And
Wow.
I think I ran 115 or 20 or whatever it was and give up.
124
Was that the
is-
race where you went into the locker room and like?
Oh no, that was
passed
my
out
first
and-
one.
No, that was the Boston
with
Marathon.
Rocky Green. But you know, we're out running this 24-hour run, which I never run before, and I get to like about 70 miles, and I'm done. I said, well,
Yeah.
my legs are dead. So I remember I went down. I laid down in the locker room, stuck my feet up on above my legs, like, and I stayed there for like 10 minutes. And then I said, well, I'll give one more try. So I'm back on the track. And the first time around, my legs were so stiff, it's just like, you know, I've got one more lap and I'm done. The second lap, legs started feeling better. And it's amazing the body's ability to recover from, you know,
Stupidity.
just a beating that I get. So I ran for like another hour and a half. But, you know, I felt my legs came back and I felt good. And then I was talking with Rocky and he was like 10 miles behind me now. And
Is this the one on
every
the track
hour
at
we would
Bowden?
go in and lay down and put our legs up for 5 minutes, you know, and that was my first one. And
Dad, is this the one where I was in Bowden?
you were involved with the ones I wanted to set a record in later. You were the ones that I wanted to run 165 miles, and you were doing the laps for me.
Yes, I do remember that. And I thought, what's more pathetic, the person running this or the person that is
Tracking.
tracking
And I can remember the it's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
So one time a moose came out on the track. A moose came right up and ran across the track. The
No
road track.
way!
And then another time, I remember looking over and all of the timers were asleep. And I said to myself, you know, how the hell can you set a record if
Yeah.
the timers are all asleep?
Yeah.
You know, so it was,
Dad, who was your favorite running partner?
besides Gaten,
Yeah.
Gaten,
Or no,
I would
who was your
say.
favorite running partner?
oh, Gaten
Bill
always, we
Gaten.
always ran together. You
Yeah.
know,
Definitely
I
Bill.
mean, we would do crazy shit like, you know, we're running these trail runs and I decided that I was so far ahead of Gaten, I've been, you know, there's only 2 of us up there on the damn trail. So I ran into the woods and hid and let him go by. So he didn't know I was behind him, right? So then I come up on him and screamed at him. I scared the hell out of him.
That's awesome.
And one other Gaten story.
Scared him. He used to do that to me. He used to,
Yeah.
when I'd get home at night, he'd scare
We were
me.
on this long run
But if you get it,
and I didn't realize that, you know, we usually tuck some money in our running shorts. So he had tucked $1 in his running shorts. And I didn't have any money in
What's a
mine.
dollar get
So
you?
we find this convenience store alongside the road in Bowdenham or some damn place. And Gaten says he's thirsty, we have to get something to drink. So we go in, I go to the cooler, and we get the biggest thing we can get for $1, right? So I wasn't relating to him, you know. So anyway, I get the damn drink out, and I drink the whole thing, right? So we have no money and no drink. So
And you- 'cause you drank it up?
Down, you asshole! How could you, we only have one drink. You drank it all. So we go. He has to go talk to the owner to let us get a free drink. So
Did he?
And he got the
Did he
free
let
drink.
Bill
oh, we
have
got
a
a free
drink?
drink.
Yeah.
You know, but he's
Was that the same runs where you guys used to stash the drinks in the snow?
Oh, we decided when we really wanted to get into ultra running, we would get up and start at 8 o'clock, and then we ran to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So my job was to put the drinks up. So
8 to 5.
so it's winter in Maine. So I would take and get 2 or 3 like Gatorade bottles and plant them in snowbanks. So they have a snowstorm. So I'm out there at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and he's out there, and we're trying to. I said, "There's drinks are somewhere between these two telephone poles," and Kate is saying, "You fucking asshole." You know, you got one fucking thing I want you to do, and you can't find the damn drink, and we're pawing through the snow trying to find the holes where we put the drinks.
Can't you just drink the snow at that point?
And so we finally found the drinks, you know.
They weren't frozen.
They had to be close.
They were close. Sometimes they were
Would
frozen.
have salt.
Sometimes they were not. But we thawed them up, hold them in our hand. We thawed them
Dad,
up.
have you
Or
ever
put them in
won
our.
Have you ever won a marathon?
Yes. I won the Canadian Heart Marathon,
Wow.
which was a big marathon.
Really?
And they have, this is in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And we decided we're not going to do Boston anymore. We'll go up to Fredericton. And
We're not gonna do Boston anymore.
So-
We're just gonna leave
Fuck
it.
that.
Pass
we
that.
wanted an alternative to
Fuck
Boston.
Boston.
We're just saying. So I get up there, and they have a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and a marathon. And there's thousands of people there, at least that many. And so, like I said, I have no idea what's going on whatsoever. I bought a ticket, and that was it. So we take off, and then I'm like, after the 5K or whatever the hell it was, I'm like in 50th position, so I'm not paying any attention to where I am in any of this shit. All I know is all the people turned around and came back the other way. So now I'm at the 10K mark, and there's all the other people come back and went the other way. So now I still don't know what's going on because I'm in the marathon, and they keep saying this is the way in the marathon. And finally, you know, I'm totally confused with what is going on with this crazy ass race, right? But it's out and back, and then there's snow. It's one of these days where it's snowing and raining.
Oh my
You know,
God.
it rains and it snows. It's like 35, 40 degrees. And a police car pulls up beside me, and I said to myself, "Now what the hell did I do to get a police car coming up beside me?" And I said, "Well, what's going on?" And the police car says, "You're leading the race." And I said, "Oh my God." You know?
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
So you did that motivate you to go
then I was
faster?
fired up then.
Yeah.
So I ran the marathon.
Did you know where to go? Was the course marked?
No, well, when we get back to town, I know there's a guy behind me, or there's two or three behind me, because I looked back and saw them,
Yeah.
and I said to myself, but I don't know where to go. And the police, they pulled off because I'm towards the finish line. So, I just guessed, maybe there's no marks. I said, I know I must be taking the next left, because that would make sense. And I lucked out, because I'd have lost the race if
If
I'd have gone the wrong way.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you won it.
So I won the marathon.
Nice.
That's my
Was there
that's my
anybody
only
at the finish
marathon
line?
I ever won.
But you won it. That's
I won the
amazing.
marathon. I've won 10Ks before.
I mean, Kevin, you win races all the
Mm.
time.
Won the Kenny Bunk free
You
live
won
direct.
the Kevin free library.
Yeah, right.
The KJ 5K.
Pretty
KJ
comparable.
5K.
Extremely comparable. though.
Well, I've made the papers in Canada all over the place.
Awesome.
I can't believe I survived that thing. Oh, and then we go to the award ceremony, right?
Yeah.
And of course they're giving all the prizes out. Well, I went, I'm sitting. I went to the word. Of course, Gumwood Gate, and we've been drinking beer all day long now after this. Right? So, I thought the awards ceremony were over when we finally got there. Because we were about, because they're supposed to start like 4 in the afternoon. We show up about 5, right? Then they
Did
finally
you miss
found
your
me.
award?
I got my award, right?
Did you get it accepted in front of all the people there?
Oh yeah, there was. Oh my God, they had TV coverage and all kinds of
Really?
shit like that.
That's awesome.
And I am so drunk I can just barely stand up.
You're like, yeah, I got this, yeah.
That's the end of my Canadian Heart Marathon.
Nice.
Canadian Heart. We'll have to run that sometime.
That's a hell of a marathon.
Okay.
What a participate.
Yeah, well,
And it's all for
what's
charity too, so
Mm-hmm.
it's a so I known this shit when I was up there. We just picked
How did you
this
have
out
So
of
did
a
you know
magazine.
that Dad was 15th in Boston one year? What was your top, not 15th, but what was your top finish in Boston?
Well, I think I was 12th. And I always wanted to be top
In
10.
Boston?
I wanted to be in the top 10 masters. You know?
Masters. Okay.
Masters, now it's
In Boston,
masters
okay.
now. And
And you were in
so
the
my year ran 232.
You were the 12th man
So I was at 12th master
in Masters.
in the masters.
Wow.
Can you believe that shit?
No, I fucking can't believe
You
that.
were
I
you were
can't believe it.
232
Like
and
there
you
was
were
like
12th in
Four
the
guys
Masters.
at
That's
230,
how old?
231.
King,
Then they
yeah,
were like,
you just,
it was like
41.
3 or 4 at the
41,
230, 231, 232, and then like, you know,
Maybe it was a
come
little.
on, this is the competition is there. I believe now in
Wow.
New York, if I'd have ever ran that, I could probably been,
Top 10.
you know,
Top 12.
Five?
I could have been top 3. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, Kurt, do you have a question?
I have a question.
Kurt has a
Yeah,
question.
Kurt has
Yeah.
a question.
Gabby, how old were you when you ran 232?
You were in your 40s, weren't you?
Probably 40, 41, 42, early like 40 or 41.
It's pretty fucking good.
Mm. I was
Man.
I was a lean, mean running machine then.
You were,
For me
yeah.
now, you know. But like I said, I just didn't have the genes to be.
For a guy with no talent. So
Yeah, that's down.
What's
yeah.
232
Dad,
pace?
how did
Do you know
you
that?
how did you meet Judy?
540s, 545.
It's true, Bob. I was helping Bob move, and that's how I met Judy.
You were helping Bob move, but Judy was helping Bob move?
Oh, she knew Bob too.
I knew Bob from.
Right, you knew Bob before he knew Bob.
Yeah,
But you met each other through Bob.
Robot.
Robob. Now you can tell Robob stories forever because Beave's such
Let's
a
go.
unique,
we're
unbelievable
here all night.
character.
Yeah, we're
I
all
mean,
night,
his,
Dad.
his, the Bob stories are just unbelievable because first of all, he was drinking heavily
Nice.
and running when I first met him, and then he became a total full-blown alcoholic.
Right.
And
You
but
said he would wake up in the middle of the night. And,
he just lay there in bed, and I went over and tried to find him, right, and he wouldn't answer the door, so I said, I know he's supposed to be here, so I went back and banged on his bedroom door, and I looked in, and he's in bed. So the door's open, so I go in the bedroom, and he's in bed, and I wake him up, and he just rolls over, says, "Hey Gary, how you doing?" And all the rest. He's got half gallon of rum or whatever, takes another slug on it, and I went back 3 or 4 times, and he was still there, doing the same shit. Then, I'm the only one to visit him in prison.
He ended up in
Okay,
prison.
Why'd
his
he get to-
daughters
why'd he get to
decided
prison?
that.
how did he get to prison?
Yeah,
Okay, he got to prison by 5 DUIs in a row,
Oh my God.
It
and
took him 5.
I have to interject
In a row,
here.
but in a
Why?
year?
He went
No.
to court. He went to prison because he went to court drunk
drunk as a skunk.
as a skunk. And the judge just like, boom.
You're in jail. So
He went to court
He
drunk?
went to his court date.
Sounds like something
no,
Joe would do.
no. I want to listen to
Can you
this.
imagine going to
Gun
court
Joe.
being like,
Yeah, Gun Joe.
Gun Joe, not
I
our.
want to tell you the court experience with Bob. I take Bob's going to court he's going to go to jail, right?
Oh
So-
my God.
His case comes up, and Bob gets up in front of the judge, and the judge says, "I'm placing you on probation." And Bob says to the judge, "I'm not going on probation." So the judge doesn't, they baffled the judge, right? The judge looks like, I've never had anybody in my life ever tell me that I'm going on probation, and Bob says, I'm not going on probation. And he did, so the judge says, well, what do you want to do? The judge says, I want to serve my sentence, and that's it. I'm done with fucking probation. That's what he said, fucking probation. Right? Because I've been on probation before, you know, so they sentenced to a year in jail, and then he got bailed out at 6 months, right? So I was the only one guy, went to visit him in jail.
You're not the only one. I visited him in jail.
Okay, so anyway, the 6 months comes up, and they say, we'll release you, and we'll let you go, you know, time off, you can work during the week, you have to come back to jail at night, right? So Bob goes to work in a bar. And then the probation officers come into the bar, and Bob is serving them booze to drink for their. So back in jail he goes again.
Oh my God.
What a character.
Well, but between Bill Gaten, Bob, all these people, like, who do you feel like was the biggest character of all of the main rowdies?
Oh, Gaten by far. Gaten and then Bob. Phil Soul was right up there. Phil was like, I mean, he's a Bowden College football coach now, you know.
Really?
And
He was.
so he and I
played
become
there too, didn't
super, you know, he lived with me. After he left his wife, he moved in with me for 2 weeks. Of course, his whole family now they're all attorneys. And I can remember getting a call from one of them saying, what the hell is going on with Phil? Right, so I said, look, I don't really know. You know, I don't know why he and Jungle. Her name was something, but her nickname was Jungle. And Jungle. Her nickname was Jungle. I said, well, I don't know what's going on, you know. So anyway.
Wait, whose nickname?
You don't know why
Phil
Phil's
Soul's
nickname
ex-wife.
Well, Phil, I think was probably.
Was it his ex-wife, or was it was he having an affair with somebody named Jungle?
Yeah, I think he was dicking some broad.
It was sticking the broad named Jungle. Is that what you said?
No, Jungle was his wife.
Okay, all right. And then he decided to dick a broad that wasn't even named Jungle. Okay.
No,
So-
that's who he was having an affair with.
That's who he was dicking.
He went
That was
for
very
desert after jungle. Like, at least.
Oh my god.
So we were great friends till he died. He fell down the. You know,
I know.
we were after all of this stuff. He
Yeah.
finally left. They got a
Vermont, right?
divorce. This is a sad story. Phil had a lot of Bob characteristics in that if he got drinking, he would, you know, they were binge drinkers. You know, if he got drinking, he could binge drink. He went to visit an ultra marathon buddy of ours in Vermont, and he opened that door to the basement, which he thought was the bathroom, and he walked down. He fell down the basement stairs and killed himself. Yeah.
Holy
When he
shit.
lived with you, did you have to deal with
Oh, hey,
sleepwalking?
yeah. Well, Phil was a
There's-
sleepwalker. Okay, this is fine.
Oh, so that's
So-
why.
And this is, I think, why he didn't survive, in that he, you know, they moved in, and he said, I need a place to live, and I said, that's fine, come on in, you know. I don't know what your family problems are, but I'll have one of these.
Yeah.
Okay. Phil walks in his sleep, right? So I said, okay, well, he's a sleepwalker.
Oh. Oh shoot.
It
Okay,
fell
hold
out.
on.
Yeah,
Let me get my- let me
it
get
fell
my-
out.
It was
Here's a napkin.
sabotaged by bears.
So
We got a napkin. No, okay, we got a
yeah, I'm
napkin.
good. So I come out after about 2 or 3 days, after him living with me, and my wastebasket
Here you
in the
go.
kitchen smells like piss.
Oh,
You know, and I said to myself, what the hell is going on, you know? And he sleepwalks and goes out and pisses in my trash can every night. Every night he'd go out and piss in the trash can.
way.
He
He
sounds
didn't know
asleep.
it. He did
Oh, I
it.
finally woke up and I saw him walking around, and he was like in a trance, you know. And I would say, "Phil, what's going on?" And he'd say, something like that. And he'd go
Sounds
back
like
and
a
go to
well.
bed, and I'd say, "Well, I don't know what he's doing, but he was going up pissing in my trash can."
Oh my god.
And he didn't even know it that he did it.
He didn't even know he was doing it.
Wow.
So if you could pick one Gaten story
My turn.
Yeah.
that would kind of exemplify the character that he was, what would be your favorite Gaten story? Or what is something
Good
that you
question.
could think of, like
That is
a
a good
Gaten
question.
story that
Very
would
good.
be, that is
Quintessential
just, yeah,
Gaten.
that just sticks out in
What's
your
your
mind.
quintessential Gaten story?
Perhaps snowmobiles?
What's your best Bill Gaten story, Dad?
Think about the depths here. Go into the vault and think about like one of
Yeah,
your.
going to the vault.
Let's just say right now, the first one would be your most favorite, like a favorite day with
If you
you.
had to pick your favorite Bill Gaten story, what would it be? Or maybe there's like 7 of them, but just
College, trees, cops.
Okay. In college, we go out. He's my roommate in college.
You may have never heard this.
So, first day back, I think it was sophomore year, we go out, and there's like 5 or 6 of us, and we're riding around, we're all drunk,
Really?
no.
no kidding, right? And we stop and take a piss in front of a house. Well, the house called the police, right?
I call the police.
And
No sense of humor.
we see
Right.
the cop
Bless you.
car coming, and then we assume now that it's us that they're after. Gaten decides that there's a tree. It's very close to the road where the car is parked. So Gaten decides, we see the police car coming. Gaten goes up the tree, right?
Up the tree.
He climbs the
Up
tree.
the
He
tree.
thinks he's going to avoid the police by going up the tree, right?
Yeah.
So the police car gets there, and of course they're talking to what we're doing, why we're there, and all this type of shit.
Where were you?
Who's driving?
Well, the driver was the son of a person in Fort Fairfield who owned a gas station, and he was a very prominent person.
Okay.
So Gary Locke was driving the car. Gaten is up in the tree. Gaten, I think he's so drunk he forgets what's going on, and he decides he has to take a piss, and he pisses
Off the
out
tree.
On
and
top of the train.
down onto the car, right, which is hitting the police officer. So he lifts up the tree, Gaten up the tree, he's taking a piss, and they took us all to jail. All 6 of us went to jail.
You're all welcome.
He did not.
And of course now we're connected now. The Gary Locke person whose father owns half of Fort Fairfield, right? So he calls his father up and tells him the story. So the father hires an attorney immediately to get us all out of jail.
Oh my
So
God.
they charged. I got charged with illegal possession or some bullshit. Gaten got charged with disorderly conduct. You know, Gaten got like 3 charges.
Pissing on the police car. Yeah.
No,
He
didn't
couldn't
do that.
hold
He
it
did
for
that.
5 minutes
No, he
until
did.
they moved on.
Yeah, wait. What did he get judged for?
So
Bullshit.
that was one of my better Gaten stories.
Bullshit.
And of
That's
course, over the
really
years,
good.
why,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh my
I mean,
God.
he goes to. We're on this is a benefit for charity to. One of the rowdies has a child that is in Pine Lane at that time, so he decides that he wants to take and donate money to Pine Lane.
Pineland is a facility.
That's what your mother worked here.
I know, but it's like
Yeah.
a facility
Yeah,
for.
for at that time.
Animals.
Yeah, for
No,
for,
kids.
No,
Yeah.
for
kids.
children with
Yeah.
mental
Yeah.
problems and all that
It's,
type of
No,
stuff.
great, we
So-
have great animal farms.
Eulogy.
So we have this all these benefits. People are going to help us out to. We're going to run from the state of Maine in Fort Kent north to all the way to Portland. So
Holy shit.
he,
Oh my God.
Fly Hub gets all about 25 of us together. We have to run a 20-mile loop, right? So I think we were in a college dormitory somewhere that they donated the dormitory to us. So Yaden gets up about 3 in the morning and has got to take a piss, right? All he has on is a t-shirt. There's nothing on beside the t-shirt.
Shirt cocking.
Okay. So he goes down to the hall and takes a piss and goes out the dormitory has 2 doors, he goes out the wrong door. So now he's locked out of the,
Oh, shit.
can't get back, and the door's locked, so can't get back in. So he decides that he don't want to run around with, his t-shirt's not covering up his private. So he takes the t-shirt off and puts it through his legs, right? So, and he's holding it up like this. And then he's walking around trying to find people to let him in the dormitory, back in. So he finally found somebody that lets him back in, and he's got this t-shirt. That's all he has on.
And somebody let him into a
Back
dorm.
into where?
Back into a
And
dorm.
then he didn't even know what room he was
Completely
in,
normal.
right?
Completely
So,
normal.
So the person coming back was knocking on the door. Bang, 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 bang. You know, so I hear this knocking on the door, and I look around, and Gaten's not there. So I said, the person says to me, "Do you know this person?" I said, "That's him."
Yeah. He's naked with his towel.
That's
between
his towel.
legs.
And
Yeah.
of course, Gaten, he don't give a shit.
It's a t-shirt.
He would,
It's just a
they
t-shirt.
like he was
T-shirt.
just so
Right.
sobering up, you know. He only has a PhD in clinical psychology.
So, Judy has just mentioned to me Gayton becoming chairman of the psych department.
Oh
How
God,
did
we
that-
go to, we're down running an ultramarathon.
The chairman of the psych department at the University of Southern Maine,
Right.
correct?
Right.
Okay.
We go back. We're down. We went to New York to run in an ultramarathon, and it seems that always I ended up driving back in these races. Yeah, he never made it that. He always knew that I would end up. He'd con me into, So I'm driving back, and we're in New York City like about 10 o'clock in the morning, and he says to me, they're swearing. I'm gonna have a ceremony that I'm supposed to be at like 5 o'clock. He says I'm gonna become the chairman of the psych department. So he said, try to get me back for that. I said, okay.
In Portland.
In Portland, so we're in New York City, right?
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
So we stop and get a 6-pack.
Of course.
Of
Because
course.
all your
No, wait, no.
Let's just stop and get a 6.
I'm saying to myself, about another 25, 30 miles, we're getting another 6-pack. We're riding all the way. By the time we get to Maine border, I mean, I've had too many beers to drink, and he's had about twice as many that I have. So he's divorced from his ex-wife,
Carol.
and Patsy, which I won't even go into where Patsy's connected in there. But Patsy is his secretary or whatever the hell she
Oh,
is.
shit.
And so
This is so hilarious.
I'm trying to get him back to go to the swear whatever ceremony he's going to. But we run into Patsy, and she's panicked because, of course he's now moved in with her, right? So anyway, we got him back, and by the time that we get him about 4:30, he can't stand up,
And he has to accept.
and he's going to be chairman of the president of the university, and everybody's there for this ceremony. So Patsy says to me, "Do you want to go to the ceremony?" And I said, As drunk as I am, no. But I said, we have to get him up there. So I helped him. We helped her take him up to the ceremony. We got him in a chair up there. And that's where it became the chairman of the University of Minnesota Department.
Well, this is
That's not
acceptance
saying a lot.
speech, like, hey,
That's
Then I took him back over
What's
to
that?
Patsy's apartment, where he lived with her for a while.
did it ever dawn on you guys maybe to just buy a 12-pack one? It seems like you guys are wasting a lot of time buying 6-packs all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
You
should
could've
have just bought a case
like,
of beer.
yeah.
You
There's-
know,
there weren't enough trees.
I've told another story about Gaten.
Exactly, right?
We ran I went to Lake Warmog and we ran they had a 1,500-kilometer race. And I was in the 50 and I was trying to win the damn thing. I dropped out because I ran out of gas. And Gaten is running in the 100K. Like we started at like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. He finishes 100K like about 8 o'clock at night. And I mean, he beat up. So we get in the car, we start drinking beer again, headed back to Maine. So we finally said, you know, he's having, you know, he's dehydrated, and, you know, and all that type of
So
shit.
naturally drink a beer.
Been drinking beers. We get to the restaurant, we're gonna stop there, get something to eat. And you know, I picked a fancy restaurant. I shouldn't have picked a decent restaurant. So anyway, we walk in, and we order our meal, and Gaten says to me, I think I'm gonna faint. And I said, well, yeah, I said, you don't wanna fall down, you're gonna faint. I said, but, you know, you're gonna fall out of your chair and you're gonna hurt yourself. And he said, well, I'm gonna faint. So I went over and picked him up, laid him down on the floor on the restaurant, right? So now the waitresses have notified people, and now they're like, well, 35, there's not 30, there's a whole bunch of people standing around, right? You know? And Gaten's passed out on the floor. And he wakes up, right? And they found somebody in the restaurant that was a doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor's talking to the Gaten, right? And saying, what are you doing? And I tell the doctor, I said, look, he's run a 100-kilometer race. He's 62 miles, right? And I said, I'm sure he just dehydrated and all that. So I'm talking to the doctor. So Gaten finally wakes up, and the doctor starts talking to him. There's all these people standing around now. And so the doctor says, well, how are you feeling and all this type of stuff? And Gaten says, I'm doing fucking push-ups.
I'm doing fucking push-ups.
I'm
Yeah.
fucking push-ups. Well, that was the end.
You're
of
like,
that.
okay,
He got up
you're
and walked out, and that was the end of it. Really? Fucking-
Oh my god.
Well, I'm done telling Gaten's story. Now put somebody up, Al.
No,
No, I'm done.
This is
I'm
great.
done.
This is
I'm
awesome.
done.
You're the
I'm telling you,
entertainment for the night.
this
I
is
know,
He's
Dad.
done a good
so
job. Yeah.
you've done a great job.
No, I don't.
And
yeah, like the new karaoke.
Let's talk grandchildren.
Me?
Mm.
You won't?
so you had this connection with Brandon. Yeah, I mean, Brandon was the firstborn, and
Yes.
you guys had a really deep connection. Brandon used to get so upset
Oh, yeah.
when he left you.
Well, and I said earlier,
I was gonna try.
Well, I would take it. You know, I started babysitting for Brandon. You know, and I can remember the first memorable experience about babysitting where you guys dropped him off. It was the damn Celtics final. Right?
You wanna watch Barney?
I mean,
No.
so
Sesame Street.
I
Sesame Street, yeah.
Brandon at that time was used to listen to whatever the hell
Sesame Street.
Yeah.
tape that he was on. Well, he didn't want to watch the Celtics, so the Celtics are
That's
playing basketball, and I'm
extreme.
playing this stupid ass whatever thing it is.
Sesame Street
And
Live.
Fuck you, man.
so then
We're
that
gonna
was
do-
one of
I'm
the.
Done
retroactively
that.
mad at myself.
Yeah. And you had to, yeah.
But Brandon would dance to it and sing to it.
Oh, he was having that all the time. I put it this way, he was very entertained by that. He was not entertained by watching the Celtics. Now today, the times have changed, you know.
Yep.
So the story that Judy started to tell the other day, and Brandon couldn't remember, but when
This
Nancy
is the
Hilla
tent, the
and being
tent
the
store.
tent. So Brandon's like, I'm not sure how old he was at this
Probably
time.
like about 5 or
He
6.
told him not to fly by himself.
So
He flew down,
I didn't fly by
whatever. He was
myself.
with Bob and I.
we had him fly down.
With Robo?
He was
Robob, you were with Robob.
So he was.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he was 5 or 6, but
Shit,
we
parents
actually
on
let
your
you. No, we let you fly, which it tells you it was a totally different time, and we're irresponsible parents. But we let him fly down to see you, and then you guys go on a trip. You
We
went on
were
a trip.
going up to Nantahala.
Bob wasn't
We're going to do the Nantahala. And so we got to the
Is that where they are?
Nantahala, and
That's where other house is.
well, I don't know where anybody else come.
campground. It was just the three of us. It was at the campground.
Well,
on the
we
river.
so we were
On the
heading to
island.
Nantahala because and that. So we had a rainstorm come in during the night. We of course the tent we put up was I don't know whether it was designed. Probably was should have been designed to keep rain out, but the story goes, and I don't remember that all the details here, but apparently Judy thinks, and I don't know whether Brandon thinks this or not, that we woke up and that Brandon is laying down in the wet side of the tent,
No,
and I'm
he's
on the dry
high
side of the tent.
Brandon's on the dry side. You were on the wet side.
Oh, really?
And then I moved Brandon to the wet side. Now, that's the story. I don't know that this is all true.
I have heard this story before.
I've heard this
Wait,
story
how old
before,
is
so.
it?
How old
I
You
was
lived this story.
like 7.
No, you were.
Yo, you were
No,
really, you were
no.
young.
No.
man.
We heard the
You're
story.
very
like
young,
last-
man.
Okay.
You,
Cause
yeah, I don't know.
Thursday-
You must have been. I don't think you were. You
On
may have been
Friday.
5, 6, or 7. I have
he
no
flew- He
idea.
flew down by himself.
I don't remember.
That's
him.
pretty
Fly
young.
by yourself.
I don't know what the
But we
age
heard
is,
the
but that would
story-
be kind of the cutoff.
Yeah.
So
On
He flew
Friday.
down with Robot.
he might have actually been
No.
21,
No, no,
but
no,
we're
I
not
didn't
sure.
fly with Robot.
No,
I
you
thought
flew
you
by
flew
yourself. No.
No, he flew by himself.
Robob was anything you
There
did
it
with
is.
Robob was going to be an experience because Robob was. I mean, you know, it's sad, but he would get so drunk anytime you took him any place that you know. Oh, I can tell you another Robob. We go down to run the. What the hell was it? Some race in Miami. Orlando or whatever. There's a 10K down there. So we're staying in this hotel. We got a room. And so this is one of these hotels, a huge hotel. It goes from one side of the block to another. So one street on this side, one street on this side, right? So we run the race and we've been in the bar now for like 6 hours or whatever the hell. We go out on the right hand side of the hotel. Well, I don't know where we're at, right? Bob's so drunk he can't stand up. I'm helping him walk. So I said, I know the hotel we're in, right? So I flag a taxi down, right? And I get in the taxi with Bob. And I said, take us to this hotel. So he drives around the block, which is like about down the road about 100 yards, rather. And us on the other side. So
Does he
we were
think
just
you were
on the wrong
joking?
side of the hotel. Well,
That's funny.
Oh my god.
it was Miami. Oh, no, we picked this gal up on the way down, right? This gal wants to ride down, and she wants to ride to the race, right? So we start drinking beer on the way down
On the way to the race?
to the race. So we stopped the car.
So it's 8
It's a-
hours.
Unfortunately, I think I have
Sitting
been
in
blocking it.
traffic.
Because I was in my car, and I said, we're too drunk to drive, so you're gonna have to drive.
It's a random woman driving your car.
No, this is like going down to the race.
But it was still a random woman that you asked to drive the
No,
car.
she was a member of the track club.
But you said
She
you
had
picked up
called
this
Bob,
random
because
woman.
Bob, like I said, Bob had like 5 affairs going on at the same time.
Oh,
So this is one of the, I don't know if it was one of his girlfriends or not. But anyway, she had to drive down, and drop second, then she had to drive back.
Oh.
So,
How'd you do in the race?
She was your Uber driver.
that's the
Yeah.
one where we had all kinds of people come down, but Gaten came down.
Was the one where people were jumping up and down and breaking things?
Oh,
and the
yeah, this was
mattress.
That Vicky
Well,
was there.
see,
That's
okay.
that Vic I race too,
Yeah.
you know. So, we get this,
For the record, I was not.
Yeah, there was a Terry that
Terry
was doing
Arthur was there.
backflips and.
Bob, Gaten, Freddie
And
Conti.
So you've rented hotel rooms
We have all
And-
staying in this hotel room.
and you pull out mattresses and you're doing flips
all
and
we
stuff.
were, well, for the start of the race, they had this parking garage that has this gate that swings up and down, right? So, there's a big race, and now I can't think of the name of it now. I mean, it's like 10,000 people in the race.
Yep.
And Freddie Conti's down there, and we're walking towards getting to the start line, and the gate goes up like this and flips this thing up. And when Freddie's not paying any attention, comes down, hits him on top of the head, and knocks him down. I mean, really hit him hard.
Oh.
So that was a start, you know.
Started the
So
race.
we have to deal with Freddie's head injury before we even start the race, right? Then the race goes on, and we run that, and then we go back up, and they give you these little ticket. They give you tickets for the number of beers you can have, right?
That's empty.
So everybody gets like 2 tickets, right? So there's a lot of the main rowdies who are at this event, right?
Yeah.
So they collect tickets. Now we have like about 60 tickets of people who are non-drinkers, right? And we drink all these free beers that they're giving us, right? And then of course, we were staying in the hotel, and I don't know what caused the excitement, but we were taking the mattresses off of 2 rooms. We got 2 or 3
Can't
rooms
imagine why there
together,
would be any
and
issue
we're
with
racing
that.
between the rooms and jumping onto the beds and off. This is how, I don't know how to get this crazy. But the manager comes up and says, "What is going on up here?" Right? And nobody will admit to owning any of these rooms, right? Well, Bob is involved in this now, okay? So they decide they're going to book all of us out of the hotel because we're damaging the rooms.
And
or
then drunken
whatever.
disorder.
So
Dad,
you're
you
but
gotta
you're
tell
So
us
just some
story.
adults
So just-
jumping on the
I
bed.
just-
you
I-
know?
Yeah, these are 40-year-old men.
Yeah,
lying through a
okay,
room,
that's what I
jumping
wanted
on
to know.
bed.
so you
And
were
2 of them are naked.
You left that part out.
So wait a minute, Dad.
Terry is stark naked. He doesn't have any clothes on.
Oh my God.
And there's women chasing him too. They're not just us now. There's like 25 people doing this shit.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Dad, you have to tell the story of when Bill kidnapped you out of our house. Remember, Kim? When
Yes,
Oh, I remember that,
I
yeah.
do.
So what
you
was
were
the-
making an omelet or something, or
Yeah.
you like
Yeah.
Bill grabbed you from.
He
Yeah.
came over.
Traumatized children.
Yes.
So
He
what
stole
was
you.
the premise for this kidnapping?
Well, I think that we've been to a party together, and so he decided. Dayton was the type of person that he's a binge drinker himself, and of course he controlled her. But if he decided to get drunk, like at a party, like his thing, he didn't get up with a hangover. He'd get up and drink a beer. So by the time he got by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, he'd had 3 or 4 beers,
Yeah.
and he's back to being drunk again. So he arrived over to our place and decided that he's going to kidnap me and
He
take
took you
me.
out a window.
Huh?
He took you out a window, didn't he? Didn't he?
Yeah, whatever. I can't
don't know
remember
the
the
details,
details,
so-
Yeah.
but
That was hilarious.
he was.
He took you. He stole you.
Yeah. I mean, Dad's standing there next to me, and next thing he's gone.
How old were you?
Yeah.
About
I was young.
one was about 3, and the other about 6.
No.
Maybe you're a
I was
little older
I
than
was,
that. I
I
don't
was
know.
probably
What's
10.
So
Swabby, get back.
14.
Oh yes. Is Courtney there?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Remember when Judy and I think it was you and me.
Yep.
And was Kara there?
Nope.
Just you and me. We were down visiting, and Dad was going to babysit, right?
Oh, I told this. I think I told them this one before. when I
Well,
watched
you did, but
Courtney.
we didn't
We don't have
record
it
it.
recorded,
This is
so-
good. We
We've
don't
lost
have it
Courtney's
recorded.
star.
Courtney
Soon.
may not remember it. You need to
No.
tell
Okay,
her.
Courtney may not remember this. Anyway,
I can tell you I
this,
don't.
this,
You might have been 18.
Kim and Judy are going shopping or doing something about 9 or 10 in the morning, and Courtney's there. Courtney's like about a year old.
Yeah.
She's creepy. I remember her creeping.
Still, she's
Yeah.
She's
so-
still is.
You're
Let's
a
be
little
honest,
baby,
she's still
right?
creepy.
She still is a little creeper.
I
I was creepy?
You were like a year old.
A creeper.
A creep. So anyway,
As opposed to Courtney.
I'm supposed to be
From
babysitting
creeper.
Courtney.
Creeper.
That
Yes.
was one of my deals.
That's right.
No,
That took
and I'm not
us
paying
serious.
any. You know, I mean, it's like
Not paying attention.
you got
You're
your
not paying
mother
any
and
attention.
Judy are going
That's your job.
shopping, and you're crawling around on the floor.
Brandon
Yeah.
must have been there
Creeping.
too.
You're
And I don't know where
But
I don't
he'd
know
be-
where
he'd
anybody
be
else
easier.
involved.
Yes.
No,
in there.
Brendan.
I don't. Well, Brian was not there. I don't believe.
Just
It was just those two.
Of Courtney.
Okay, you were doing
So
something
anyway,
else.
I'm watching TV and I get up. I've been in bed. They've left. It's about a half hour, 45 minutes after they left, and I get up and I think I was watching the news or some bullshit on TV, and I walk around and I don't see Courtney in the living room, and then I walk in the bedroom and I see her in there, and I'll go to the dining
Yes,
room.
I remember that.
And I
She
look
got the
around, there's
dog
no
door.
Courtney. And I said, I'm either losing my mind
Like
or I'm
Courtney.
going fucking crazy. Because Courtney, I can't find Courtney.
Courtney's gone. Yeah.
Courtney
fill
gone.
that part in.
So I said to myself, now I'm starting to panic now. I'm saying, you know, I know they left Courtney with me. They didn't take her with. So I'm thinking logically, they took her with.
There was a kid
There's
here
a kid
at some
here.
point.
But and then I remembered that I saw Courtney after they left, so I said I can't blame. I know they didn't take her with me, and
And the phone rings.
I can't find Courtney. Courtney'd gone out through the pet door, where the dogs have gone down the ramp, and she's out in the garage.
No, she's out in the
The
backyard.
backyard. She's out in the back. Made it all the way to the backyard. The garage. You crawled up in the backyard. So by then I had reached the point where I was just totally.
We knew about it. I think did we come home?
Some,
No, we called.
well, somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know how the other people got involved with this, but
Well, I like when
Child
Well, wait a
Department
minute.
of Human
Were you
Services,
drinking?
Yes.
Were
No,
you-
I-
okay. So you weren't. You
I
didn't
was
like sit
dead,
down and
dead.
have
I
a
was
couple
like,
of beers,
I'm
and you got your
totally-
granddaughter.
I can't blame this on
You know,
booze.
no.
Courtney in
Well,
her,
maybe
like,
because you didn't have a six pack.
Baby.
but also Courtney was like so spry at that time.
Yeah, she was
just went
teeny
all
tiny
over
and
the
she
She
place.
was a tiny little baby, but
She
she
escaped
was
like
creeping, and
She
she was
escaped
great.
many
I mean,
doors.
she was just booking across the floor.
Yeah.
You know.
She went
So,
everywhere.
what we
You were
found out
right.
is Courtney's always been a little creepy. Always been.
But what about
So was I
Dad
just
when
chilling in the yard or?
Dad?
You were out there, I guess, from
We
Grit.
lost you
That's
in
a
the
long time
backyard.
ago. But I guess Judy says you were out in the backyard.
This is the man.
Dad.
You
So you didn't actually find her until Judy got back, or they
Yeah.
were
I
like,
don't know
hey,
how, I don't
like-
know where the phone calls came.
and you were kind of
And
like,
Dad lost
hey,
her.
they'll find her when they
I
get
think
back.
I had called
Wait,
and asked them something. I think what I did is I said, did you take Courtney with you?
We
And
called.
then they said no, and that's I think how that all transpired. I don't know how that worked. All I
Why
know
are you
is
asking
that
us if
Courtney, Kimberly, and
Dad, what about the
wherever, we
time
lost
that,
Courtney.
Dad, what about the time that you came back to the house and Cujo, what was your dog's name?
Keno.
Keno.
Not Cujo.
He was
Wouldn't-
Cujo.
Keno
No, he
wouldn't
was-
let you in the house to get
Right, I remember that Keno, you know, he
You
was
were
so
trying to. So you
protective.
guys had come there, and Sam was in the house. It was Sam, and Keno would not let Dad back in the house to get to take
Sam.
Yeah.
To take
Yeah.
care of Sam?
Yes. Keno was like, "Ah,
I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
Keno
would protect
well,
these
as long
guys,
as
yes.
he liked all the people in the family. But man, if the family wasn't around, he was a mean mother.
Yeah, so when Sam was in the house alone,
He took care of
you
Sam.
tried to come back
Wait a minute.
in.
So
Sam's
wait.
in
So
my
wait a minute.
life.
So I was gonna
Sam's
say,
in my
how
life.
is Sam in the house alone? It's not the dog's fault. It's our fault.
Keno's
Yeah,
So
back.
you're just-
yeah.
No,
I
it's
mean,
true.
Don't
So
ask
Sam's
us.
the little
Tell us
kid.
why Sam
It's
was
like,
in the
hey
house
Gary,
alone.
Sam's home. Keno's watching him. Can you pick him up
It's like,
at some
alright,
point?
Kino's in charge.
Keno was babysitting Sam.
What the
Yeah,
hell
you
is
got
this
this.
story?
You got
Good
this.
job,
You-
seriously.
Tell
He's
you
a
what.
great dog. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
to me. What a great dog, huh?
Yeah.
Take care of Sam.
Exactly.
And then Dad tries to come in.
But why would he? There is no. It makes no sense.
Yeah, why would he have come? 'Cause
Exactly.
you knew Keno
There's
had
a
it
little
taken
kid
care of.
and a dog at home, and we sent him home with
No, there
that.
was something where Dad showed up and he was into his own house, but Keno wouldn't let him in.
Into his own house? Where?
Then they
It's
have
a
they
Marietta.
came
Did we take
inside.
Keno down to Marietta?
They wouldn't
Yeah.
let me. Keno wouldn't let me in because
When did we take Keno down there?
You
you
took
were
Keno
down
to
for the
Georgia.
Olympics.
He came down to the
Yeah.
Olympics.
Yeah,
Olympics.
the Olympics. Keno came to the Olympics.
Really?
And then there was this situation where
Right, we
Dad
must have gone to
got
Olympic
stuck
events.
outside the
I
house.
remember that.
And
I remember
Keno
that.
was like,
There's a lot of shady information going on here.
Keno was like, you know, like the
Do you want another beer? Keno?
Yeah.
little growl.
Oh, I haven't had one of these stalls.
That's right.
Now that you say all this, now it connects. Cause okay, so we actually drove down. We brought Keno. We
No,
were
I'm
going to be
not
sending at
complaining
least a
about
week
it. I
down
like
there.
it.
Now it all makes
Yeah.
sense.
I'm enjoying it all. But it's like, sometimes I kind of like it, and then other times I take a drink and I'm
Wow.
like, well, this is
So
awful.
we can check
Oh,
on
I have
Sam.
I have one more story about dogs. I go with Mickey like we get down and run the Cape Cod Marathon.
Oh my
Right, it's
god.
like 30. We get to Cape Cod, it's like December's time frame, and it's a cold, windy, wet day, and we start to race out, and at about 18 miles or something like that, I am so cold that I can't stand running anymore. I am just shivering, and I'm down to like about 4 minutes. You know, like taking me like about 15 minutes to run a mile. And I said, well, I'm dropping out. Well, I rode down with Mickey, and we brought his dog with us, which was a big sheep dog, right? So, I can't remember the name of the damn dog, but anyway, I'm dropping out. So, and of course, the Mick says he's going to finish, so he's got like about another hour to go practice, right? So I go back. I said, well, I got warm clothes in the van. I go back in, and the damn sheepdog won't let me in the van. I mean, you're going to chew me up if I get in the van.
Of course, yeah.
So I said to myself, you know, I'm freezing, I'm shaky, I'm so cold, I can't. I mean,
And the
I'm
sheepdog
just
won't
shaking.
race back. Yeah.
I mean, it's like I have a running singlet and the shorts on, and it's about 40 degrees and light rain.
Oh
You know,
man.
and I am standing there just absolutely
And
freezing.
the dog is
And Keno,
Ours was
Keno.
Keno. Ours was
this was
Keno.
Keno. Max would not let me back in. Max knows me now. I've known Max now for about 2 or 3 years.
And he won't let
Max
you in the
will
car.
not let me back in the damn van.
Oh my God.
So I said, well, I gotta find somebody. I'm not gonna survive till Mickey gets back, right? So I'm back to the race director, and they found me some army
Car to
blankets
sit in.
to wrap me up in.
Oh my gosh. Well, Keno, yeah, I remember Keno would do
Oh,
that.
Keno,
I forgot about that when we brought him to the Olympics and that he would take
No,
care of
he was in
Sam.
Atlanta, and then
Yeah.
I remember at one point
He'd take care
Dad
of
He's
came
Sam's
home
babysitter.
and-
He was
Yeah.
Sam's babysitter.
He was, and Dad came home, and Keno
He
wouldn't
wouldn't let me in.
He wouldn't
I
let
remember
Dad
that.
into the house.
so not nice.
He was so protective.
Well, we had 2
Keno
Kenos.
was a protective animal.
Is that?
Yeah.
That's probably first Keno.
No. it was
No,
second
first
Keno.
Yeah,
First
that
one
was
didn't
second.
last.
There were
First
more
Keno
than
was,
Keno?
was only lasted a year.
He didn't
First-
last a
You
year.
guys
First,
didn't
you
come
know,
up with a
I
different
sent-
name for
I
it?
would go in and
That's
then
on
you'd be
there.
like,
and growl at me. And I'm like, I know you love me. He's like,
That was
He
second
did,
Keno.
man.
Don't you love me? He's like,
He either liked you or he
and
didn't
then
like you.
he would just like lift his leg and pee on the floor. I'm like
No, he was
trying to mark his territory.
Aw. He was sweet.
I think that I need somebody else to be in the
Yeah.
center street.
Uh,
I've had
you
enough.
felt court for a
We
long
have a
time.
we have a Lagunitas.
How long? That's
Anything else? Anything? What?
Well, we
So,
have beer in the back.
so wait a minute, Gary, sit down for a second, just in case there's.
Okay. Oh,
No, I think this is great because to me personally, this is really important to me, and that you've told some amazing stories. But does anybody else have stories that you can think of, or something that he wants to tell? Because it's important shit. What was that?
Do you have a story you want to tell?
Carol,
No,
you.
I don't. I'm good.
Kara can speak
Yep,
to
I'm
our
good.
wedding.
I'm good. I just hadn't. It was in the moment. It was a.
You just wanted to break
reaction.
Cameron's couch.
Yeah.
Do you have a story?
It was
No, I'm
really
good. I'm
violent.
good. I'm good.
Uh-huh.
That's violent.
Yes.
Hug it out. Hug it out.
Oh.
It's okay.
No, the only story I will tell, and there was 3 people in the room
You
that
gotta
were
get, you
part
gotta
of
get
Share!
Share.
No,
Get
share.
out of it. I want to get out of the chair.
He wants to get out.
You
of
get
the
up
chair,
here.
that's fine.
All right.
Gary, thank
I will tell
you.
the story of your wedding.
Oh my God. They're all
One
bad.
of the many
Sit
stories
right
of
down
your wedding.
there. Listen
Your
to
wedding
your
was
daughters.
was amazing. Your sister was down there and she was
Oh
interesting.
my God.
She was very
You sneak
interesting.
by?
It's more than just interesting.
That was she married to the guy she was
No, be
She wasn't
serious.
married to Wayne.
She never got married.
No, she
She
got
got
laid.
I
She
like
got-
to see when this.
She got married to Lionel Big Train.
Lionel,
You know.
she was living with Lionel.
Yeah.
But that ended.
No, back then she was with Wayne.
Wayne.
Wayne, Lionel.
Wayne.
There's a whole bunch of people involved in Bonnie's life.
So we
So-
were at a table. Kara, me, Wayne, you.
Yeah, Kara
Whatever.
did some like Michael Jackson.
No,
video.
he was feeding us Jello shots at your wedding.
Okay.
And yeah, we were
Who was feeding who Jello shots?
Wayne. Me and Kara.
Wayne.
Ken?
Our wedding?
Wayne.
Yes. Shots, some type of shots. He was.
So you were
he was
wasted.
feeding. Yeah, we were bad, but we sobered up. We sobered up nicely, and I don't know. I never remember where Bonnie was. Our
Bonnie was
aunt.
drunk, passed out.
Well, we
Not
found out
passed
where
out.
Bonnie was. She was in.
Passed out,
She was
she'd
in a
been
hotel
okay.
room with some wait staff person or something. So that
I can
ended
believe
their relationship.
Oral sex was definitely going on.
We didn't ask that question.
Yeah, there was blowjobs and cocaine. Just so you know.
I don't know that part of it.
Well, if you're gonna tell the story, just
I
tell
feel
the
like
story.
that's the story.
It
You
was
started to tell the story.
It was story.
All adults
It was
here.
not
It's
the
okay.
Oh. This is a
Let
documentary.
Mom, tell the story.
Wedding
Okay.
ends, and we're taking dads. It's back when you used to. There was no internet, so people didn't send gifts to the houses. So we're taking all the gifts back to their room. And there's me, and there's Kara, and there's Cameron, and we're all in a line, and we're walking. I think it was Judy. You were Dad, Judy, and then all the rest of us, and we're carrying all the gifts up from the venue. And Dad goes in first, and it's the hotel doors that shut behind you. So he goes in, and the door shuts, and then it's Judy and all the rest of us, and we're like, okay, the door shuts.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, come on, Dad. I'm like, what's up? What's up? Judy's knocking on the door. Come on, Dad. Gary, what's up? Nothing. Nothing. And we're all standing there with the gifts and, you know, in our wedding attire. And Judy's in a wedding gown, and the rest of us are all in our wedding attire. We're all just standing there with all these gifts. I'm like, come on, Gary. I'm like, what's going on? Nothing. We can't get him awake. So Bill goes down. You went down to the front desk. And
They wouldn't give Judy the key because
they wouldn't. She
she
had
didn't
no
have a
ID. Well, she's like, well, who has ID on them when they're getting married? You have a wedding gown on. Like, no, won't give the key to the room.
Yeah.
Won't give a key to the room. So Bill comes down. So there's a
Bill Gayton.
whole group of us, and Bill Gayton comes down
Yeah.
and says, you know, I got to get into the room. He's like, I'm afraid
It's a
to.
man trying to commit suicide.
Man trying to commit suicide. Got to get into the room. So on his wedding night, Dad is the first one in behind this whole, and we're like, Judy's like from here. It's not like we're, minutes apart. We're all just lining up, walking in this door. He goes in, passes out on bed.
Okay, it's all true.
On his wedding night. On his wedding night.
We have all the
Plausible
flowers, and all of a sudden the door
deniability.
locks, and it's
No.
like, oh
So
shit.
the only way the hotel would let Bill in is for Bill to say, I'm a psychiatrist, and I'm
The
afraid
man in there is trying to
the
commit
man
suicide.
there is trying to commit suicide, so you have to let us in the room.
Yeah,
So that's the way
that's-
they got into the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it took like 2 seconds.
But then
So you go in, the door slams shut, and the next person, Judy knocks the door, and you're out.
Gone.
Out.
Well, whatever,
afterward though, did you just have to tell the hotel manager staff we were just fucking
Kara and I are
around?
like, okay, we're done. We put the gifts. I remember putting the gifts on the floor, and we left. I don't know what happened after that.
After I did the Thriller dance, that was
We have
Oh,
that
I've
on
seen
video.
footage of that. Unreal.
We have it on
My
video.
sister got involved. I mean,
Your
I
sister
wake
got
up
involved
from
with
this thing.
everybody, but
Yeah, my
anyway.
sister wakes up, and I'm finally sober enough now that I can function.
Open the door.
Open the door, right? Anyway, and somebody tells me that this crazy woman is up in the hall doing some crazy shit. And it's my sister,
Oh,
right?
it's Bonnie. Okay.
Bonnie's
So,
out.
Kara.
She's out screaming at people at like 3 or 4 o'clock, and I don't know what's going on with that. So I remember going down and finding out what Bonnie was doing, and I never did figure out what Bonnie was doing because she was always on. She could be loaded up
Be
on
nice.
all kinds of drugs and other shit. So I have no idea what she was doing.
Wayne came and said goodbye to me and Kara.
And then he come in, he
Yeah,
said,
It's
I'm
really
done
sad.
with her.
Yeah.
Wayne,
came and
now
said-
Bonnie is down in.
Wayne broke up with Bonnie.
Ray broke
At our
up with
wedding.
Bonnie
Well,
and
there
had
was,
a
the wedding.
blue
there was a
on.
good reason
and left
for
Bonnie
Wayne
in
to break up with Bonnie.
So we had to,
Mom,
now
you
we
wanna
have to
explain
get
why
Bonnie
Wayne
back
and
to
Bonnie-
Yeah,
me.
why did Wayne?
Bonnie back to Connecticut.
Bonnie was bobbing along,
Exactly,
She was-
Cameron. Yeah.
Bonnie
You
was
know.
in another room in the hotel.
yeah,
Nice.
And Wayne.
And what was she doing?
cocaining along, and
Cocaine
What
or whatever
was
else drugs she
Wayne's
was on.
occupation?
I don't know. But he was a nice guy.
He was a nice guy.
What?
He was a nice
The
guy.
guy that was in the she was in
We
the room
liked
with
Wayne.
was a nice guy or Wayne?
No, the guy that she'd been dating, and they drove up from Connecticut. I think he drove.
I
Like Randy.
No, they flew, but they
Wayne
no,
and
they
Bonnie were
flew.
married. I think
He
Wayne
got a
and Bonnie were
flight.
Bonnie
married.
flew in, just an extra guy to the wedding?
No, it was her boyfriend.
It's her boyfriend.
No, Wayne.
No, not Wayne. I'm saying the other person.
Oh, he was
No,
the
he was at the hotel. She met a guy at the hotel.
He was Wayne's staff at the wedding.
Yeah,
That's correct.
yeah, pretty much.
She blew a dude at the wedding.
I don't know any of those details, but
Oh,
I do feel.
Oh, come on,
Don't
come
play
on.
I don't know any of those details, but I
What do
do
you
know.
actually know? What details do you know?
The only thing I knew was Wayne came by and said goodbye to Kara and I. And he
Okay.
said it's been, I felt bad for him because then we never saw him again.
Yeah, I never
That
saw
was
him
it?
again.
Nope,
No.
never saw Wayne since then.
He was a nice guy. He got a degree in golf course management.
Yes.
And he was a golf course manager.
Weren't they married?
No, they never.
No,
Who
they weren't
did she
married.
marry then?
No.
That had-
Lionel, big
Bonnie
train.
Lionel.
Lionel ended up
Yes.
marrying her.
Oh, Lionel.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, but Wayne was a
He was
very nice
big.
guy, and he did come by and say goodbye to me and Kara, and he said it's been so nice knowing you and meeting you, and I'm oblivious to why he's telling us this at this moment. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
well,
We're
I didn't know
You're
any
oblivious to
of
the
that.
blowjobs.
he,
Wait a minute, there was some. That whole night was full of wonderful incidents that just
Oh yeah,
We're
there
amazed.
was a lot of shit
You
went
know.
on that night.
there was.
So yeah, that was fun. All right, that's it.
Yeah.
But those of us that have to get to the airport tomorrow should
Wow.
probably head out.
Any other stories that we want to tell before you go? Because
I
we.
can't think of anything that I need to
Yeah,
tell.
well,
No,
do
no,
you
I've
no,
already
no,
been
no,
up there
No,
for an
good.
hour.
We're good.
I think it's probably Cameron's time in the chair.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
Cameron's
mean, take-
definitely.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think he was tired. He went back.
I think he was drunk, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was
Yeah.
definitely drunk.
Yeah. Well, do you-
Nothing
well,
worse
do you-
than your dick getting tired, you know?
I'm good.
All right, that was good.
Oh, well,